everybody, it's me, Teresa Perrin, and I want to discuss CEI with you and the upcoming reverse split. It's very important that you help spread this word, so please smash the like button and share this with as many people as possible. Also consider subscribing to my channel because I do put out a free morning watch list every single morning with stocks that I think have a high probability of moving. Let's get started, and please remember, nothing I say is financial advice. Always do your own DD. All right, guys, so what's going on with CEI and its price? Well, as many of you know, it has hit the news again recently due to Atlas Trading and everything going on with Zach Morris and his gang of pumpers being indicted and being brought on, not only just charges for their pump and dump scheme by the stock market, but also criminal charges for their actions. Now, this video, we're not going to discuss this, but CEI was made very popular because of that huge pump that they facilitated. And CEI has once again hit the news, but this time because it hit a 52-week low of 6.2 cents, which is quite a far cry from the $4 and change that group at Atlas Trading pumped it up to. I think that happened probably over a year ago, but don't quote me on that. Anyways, we have seen a few pumps in it since that historic pump, but more than recently, we've seen massive dumping of this stock. And guys, they are going to be doing a huge reverse split. They're doing a 1 for 50 reverse split. And I think that it's careful we pay close attention to the stock because a lot of people on social media are comparing it to COSM, but I'm going to tell you why it is drastically different. So please pay attention to what I'm saying here because I do not hold a position in CEI. I am not here to pump it. I'm not here to dump it. I'm not here to do anything except give you my personal opinion on CEI and what I see coming and why it's not the same thing. Now, that is going to drastically reduce their insane float, which apparently is currently standing at 1 billion, and following the reverse split, it will decrease it to 20 million, which guys, 1 billion to 20 million is pretty significant of a decrease in share count. Now, that being said, it's also going to inflate the price 50 times of what it's at. But we all saw what they did with COSM as far as the fact that after the reverse split, which was a 25 to 1, the price was brought up to that $8 or $9 a share or $7 and change or whatever it was, right? The essentially 25 times its closing price on Friday to immediately dump back down to 40 cents. Will they do this with CEI? I don't know the answer to that, but anything is a possibility in Wall Street, on Wall Street, and with their fit of recent corruption. Well, I think it's been going on for a very long time, but it seems to be that they just blatantly don't care anymore about their acts that they commit. Now, guys, it's going to have a higher float than the one that currently is sitting at COSM. However, it's still significantly smaller than what stands. And there is a significant difference that we're going to get into in a moment here. But I'm just giving you an air of caution because do not trust people that are trying to compare these two stocks. It is going to have a reverse split, which is generally, guys, seen as not a good thing. However, I can give you several examples of when it hasn't been a bad thing, the most recently being GOCO, GOCO. However, again, CEI has kind of a bad image behind it with a lot of different things that have happened inside that company, and as far as them not getting in proper paperwork by deadlines and basically driving it down to where it's at. Now, the question is has CEI made any significant changes that could give it a run? Well, maybe a positive catalyst after the reverse split could give it a run. I'm not saying that there's no chance this company is going to move to the upside. I'm just saying that it is drastically different than what is happening right now with COSM. So don't believe that FUD. Now, something very important. They said that as of market open on December 30th, this change was going to take place. But on November 7th, the company received a compliance notice from the New York Stock Exchange. The New York Stock Exchange noted that Camber had failed to meet its minimum bid price requirement of 20 cents. The primary reason for the reverse split is to address this failure and increase the stock's price by cutting supply. Camber added that the split would be completed to expeditiously meet the low price per share selling price requirement of the New York Stock Exchange American and to reduce the risk of the company being automatically delisted from the New York Stock Exchange due to the trading price of its common stock falling below a price which the New York Stock Exchange American views as abnormally low. All right, guys, that being said, look at what came out on Friday. What in the world is going on with CEI? CEI shares are trading higher by some 50.81% to 9 cents during Friday's after-hour sessions. The company late Friday announced an updated anticipated effective date of December 21st for its previously announced 1-for-50 reverse stock split. Following the reverse stock split, the number of authorized shares of common stock will be reduced from 1 billion to 20 million. CEI on Thursday originally said the reverse split is anticipated to be effective at market open on December 30th. So guys, they bumped this up by 9 days, 9 complete days, not business days, because now they're saying that it's going to be effective as of market open December 21st, which the 19th is Monday, the 20th is Tuesday, so the 21st would be Wednesday morning. So if there is a whole bunch of naked shorting or other shorting that wants to cover at this drastically reduced price of 6 cents or 5 cents that it was down to on Friday, this is a great opportunity for them. However, guys, we all know that notoriously stocks that are heavily shorted, once they do a reverse split, sometimes they get a little bump followed of shorts covering, followed by a drastic move to the downside, sometimes followed by then a move to the upside as shorts start to cover. That is statistically what you see. However, when you float change drastically with these higher splits, as in a 50-to-1, the potential for a run becomes bigger because now there are less shares in the market for them to grab, essentially, right? So could this run? It is possible, guys, but there's no guarantees. And at the end of the video, I'm going to tell you exactly my thoughts. Free float right now is showing at 662.61 million. So if this is accurate, which guys, it's Weeble, so take it with a grain of salt, and that's significantly less than what it's showing on the articles that I just read. 2 of them both had a much higher count. But assuming that this is correct, you would divide that by 50. So you would get less than 12 million shares or something like that off the top of my head. Guys, that's significantly different. Or I'm sorry, if you would divide it by 50, that would be less than 12 million shares for them to trade. And if retail owns the majority of this float, which guys, I do believe that we do. Actually, let me show you this now and tell you my thoughts, and then I'll get into FinTel. Institutions only own 4.55%. Corporate owns 7.86%. Others, that 87.59%, guys, this is retail. This is where I see the biggest difference between COSM and want to stop the FUD in its track. Because where corporate and institutions have these tiny, tiny float, you don't see insiders on here. Insiders, 0.00%. If you look at the insiders of COSM, you'll notice I just did a video, or I'm doing a video on it, so I'll give you the updated, but it's somewhere between 50 and 60% of insiders own that stock, which is why it has the ability to move very, very violently to the upside, because you can pretty much guarantee that the majority of those shares are locked in. They're not going to be selling, and they're certainly not going to be selling low, especially when they're battling these short sellers and naked shorts that have been going on. You don't have that insider ownership with CEI. So keep that in mind, because what I see CEI happening, guys, if it runs, is a potential pump and dump. And I'm sorry to say it, I'm just being very honest, which is why you don't often hear me talk about CEI and why I said that, shady. To me, there's a lot of things that have happened in that company that just make it a stock that I really don't want anything to do with. Would I ride a run? Sure, why not? I mean, if there's money to be made. But guys, I would think of it as a pump and dump and know that it's going to dump. And as soon as I saw signs of it dumping, I would be out. At any rate, currently it's showing that the short interest is only 4.84%. Now remember, short interest is still currently self-reported. And based on the amount of the dark pool volume of shorting that we see every single day, I don't believe that 4.84% is the accurate number. I think it is probably much, much higher. However, there's still 7.4 million shares available for them to borrow to short. And a cost to borrow is very low. It's only between 4.86 and 4.88%. Now look at Friday, it had its lowest short volume ratio, 45.58%. It's been trading anywhere between 57.79 at the highest and the lowest being that 45. But most days, there was actually a day of 42.3. So there was a lower day. But most days you'll see that it's between 40 and 50%, right? So that short volume ratio doesn't add up to 4.87% interest, in my opinion. I would expect that it's really, truly much higher. Unfortunately, failure to delivers do not come into play in this stock. There's not a whole lot of things to help it. And technically wise, guys, it's showing short term, it's still in a strong bearish signal. Medium and long term, it is showing a move to the upside. Well, guys, I hate to say it, but much lower than 5 cents means that the stock is like gone, negative, nothing. Honestly, guys, I think there's a possibility this could get a run. In my opinion, will it happen before the split or after? That I'm not sure. I'd keep an eye on it. I think it's definitely worth keeping on your watch list this week. However, I wouldn't get greedy. I'd be sure to be taking profits, and I would have pump and dump in the back of your mind, because that's the way that I see institutions playing with this stock, quite honestly. Now, I hope for anybody that's been in it long term, that's held through all this, that it goes to the moon. But I really don't realistically see that happen. I do see a potential for a run, and if you're looking for a way out, hopefully you don't get too greedy and can find your way out of it. I do think there's going to be an opportunity here to make some gains. Clearly, after hours when this was announced, you saw it go from 5 cents to 9 cents. So clearly there's something going on more than what meets the eye, right? It ended the day at 0.620 and it went up to 0.929. That's a 49.84% increase. So if you are somebody who saw this early on or bought that bottom at 0.6 or 0.571, congrats to you, because you've already made substantial gains. Guys, I'm just being honest with my followers because I want you to make money. Please be careful. Don't get trapped in this, because I do see it having a run in it, but I don't see it sustaining it. Anyway.